Hello, my guys. Welcome to another episode of the Microwave Kicks. Yes, this is week 6 preview of the English Premier League previews and predictions. Yes, last 2 weeks we got 3 correct scores. Last week we got 2 correct scores. And this week we're open to even get and do more even better. So you're welcome. If you're new to this channel, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell and join this family. Yes, the first game of this week is Brentford against Manchester United. Wow, so it was a good win for Manchester United last week against Chelsea. Nobody really expected that with the way Manchester United has been, this season. Not that team that ordinarily would defeat Chelsea, but trust me, they did very well last week. And with the Chelsea's red card and everything, they still find a way to grind out that result against Chelsea, which was a good one. Now for Brentford, playing against Manchester United in the last 5 games hasn't been too good for them. They've only won 1 out of those games, and they've drew 1 and they've lost 3 to Manchester United. Well, the last few meetings within this side, I think Brentford has really done well, and Manchester United have done well as well. Why the home form from Brentford has been good. Has been good. Out of 3 games, they've only lost 1 and they won 2. So with the game against Chelsea, you could see how they came back into the game after going 1 down, because they started the game very well. They got a goal, against Chelsea and all of that. And they came back into the game. They won also at home against Aston Villa. That was a very good result, for them, but they lost against Fulham. That being said, for Manchester United, their away form hasn't been too good. They went away to Fulham. They drew that game, and also they lost 3-0 against Manchester City. So now they will be looking to ride on that win against Chelsea and do one better, against Brentford. But to me, this is a 12:30 fixture. I don't think Manchester United will win this game. I think it's going to be a draw. I think Manchester United would not win against Brentford away from home, because Manchester United away from has not been good. To me, I think this game is going to end in a draw. I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw for Brentford against Manchester United. Tell me what you think and share your own predictions in the comment section. Now we move to the next game, which is 3 o'clock kickoff. Chelsea against Brentford. It was a disaster last week for Chelsea. A red card, and they lost against Manchester United away from home. Prior to that, it wasn't really too bad away from home. They won 5-1 against West Ham away from home as well. But for Brighton, they drew their last match 2-2 against Tottenham Hotspur, which to me, after going 1 up, they were supposed to win that game. But kudos to Tottenham for coming back into the game and getting a point, for Spurs. So for this Chelsea game, I think Chelsea will want to, clear away those negative thoughts of losing to Manchester United, dropping point against Brentford. They need to win. They need to now. Chelsea are playing at home. They need to pick up that result. They've only gotten 1 point out of the possible 6 in their last 2 games in the Premier League. So they need to win this game. They need to pick up a point. Brighton, their away form has not been good. They have lost 2 out of 2. Away from home. So their away form has not been good. I think Chelsea knows what's at stake. Chelsea understands that they can't go 3 games without winning in the first 6 games in the Premier League. That would be a disaster start for Chelsea. So Chelsea knows that they need to pick up this game. So out of the last 5 games of Brighton has won 3 and draw 1 and lost 1. While for Chelsea, they've only won 2. So Brighton are more in form than Chelsea. So I think Chelsea is going to pick up victory against Brighton. It's going to be, to me, Chelsea is going to win. And I think it's going to be a 2-1 victory for Chelsea against Brighton. Now moving up to the next game, Crystal Palace against Liverpool. This fixture in the last couple of games has been a fight. This fixture in the last couple of games has really been that fixture at this both sides doesn't accept for each other. Crystal Palace has won Liverpool the Community Shield through penalties. Also, they've been very, very good when it comes to playing Liverpool. And Liverpool are going away. Remember the last time Liverpool went away, the last 2 times they went away against Newcastle, it was very difficult for them. It was the last minute winner that got them that win. Against Burnley, it was another very difficult game. It was a last-minute winner that got that penalty for Mo Salah, if you could remember very well. So their away form hasn't been that smooth, but this is Liverpool. They always find out a way to grind out results against teams, and they've done it over and over again. In fact, their last game, in the Carabao Cup, they won in the last minute with Ugo Ekitike's goal. So they always find a way to grind that result. They did that also against Atletico Madrid. So that is a Liverpool team that sits on top of the table, that has won 5 out of 5 games, in this season, 15 points already in the Premier League. So I think they're in a good vein of form. They are really doing very well. In the last 5 games, they've won 2 against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace have won 2 against them, and they've had just 1 draw. So I think this game will be a very, very tough one for Liverpool, especially going away from home. And a coach like Oliver Glasner, which is a very good coach for Crystal Palace, I think it's not going to be an easy one. The last match for Crystal Palace, they won away from home. Away from home at West Ham, which was the London derby. They still won. So I think the home form for Crystal Palace has not been too good. They've drawn 2 games at home, one against Sunderland and 1 against Nottingham Forest. While from Liverpool, like I said, it was a very, very last-minute game winner that got them, that win against Burnley and Newcastle. So to me, I think this match is going to be the game where Liverpool will drop their first points this season. I think defensively, Crystal Palace are very good at home defensively. They don't just lose games just like that. So I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw for Crystal Palace against Liverpool at home. Now to the next match, Leeds against Bournemouth. The last match for Bournemouth at home was a draw to Newcastle. Now they are going away to Leeds United. Leeds United has not been doing bad at home. In fact, their first match, yes, they lost at home to Everton, and they won at home to Everton, and they drew to Newcastle. So Leeds United has not been that bad. In fact, their last match against Wolves, they won, away from home. While for Bournemouth, it has not been that bad away from home. The first match was against Liverpool. We know how Liverpool are defending champions. The first match of the Premier League season, they considered 2. They came back into the game, and Liverpool won in the last minute of the game, 2 goals. While for Bournemouth, they went away to beat Tottenham Hotspur. So I think their away form has been very decent. But to me, this match is going to be a very tough one. Leeds United, in the last 5 games, they've won 3. Bournemouth have won 2. And they've drawn none. So it's going to be a tough one. But Leeds United are a very strong side at home. I want to say it's a draw. I really want to say this is a draw. But I see Leeds United winning 1-0 against Bournemouth. Now to the next game, Manchester City against Burnley. For Man City, it was not a very good game last time. They defended for their lives against Arsenal until the last minute, Martinelli scored. While at home, they also won against Manchester United, which was their last home game at home. Now, also, they lost in their first home game at home to Spurs, which was not a good one. So they've had 1 win and 1 loss at home. While for Burnley and Manchester City, let's not forget, will be without Erling Haaland. I think he has a back injury, which will be a very tough one. For Burnley, a team who just came from the relegation and away from home, They nearly got a point against Manchester United, but they lost the game, and also they lost to Spurs, which is 3-0, which was not a very good result. So to me, I think Manchester City have everything it takes to win this match. I think it's going to be a 3-0 victory for Manchester City without Erling Haaland. I think they have everything on what it takes to win against Burnley. It's a homecoming for Kyle Walker, and I think it's going to be a 3-0 victory for Manchester City. Now for Nottingham Forest against Sunderland. Sunderland have started this season very well. They've been doing well in the last couple of games. I think this is the only team I beat my chest to that came from the relegation that they are going to stay up. They have both experience and youth, in the squad, which is a very good one. For Nottingham Forest, with the sack of their coach, this new coach, Postecoglou, has not started this season very well. I think it's going to be a difficult one for them because Sunderland are a very, very good side as well. Nottingham Forest, they won again. They lost at home against West Ham, which was a shocker, and they also won at home against Brentford. So 1 loss and 1 draw, 1 loss and 1 win at home against two sides. While for Sunderland, it was a draw away from home and a win to Burnley. So it's not really been a bad one, for Sunderland. So I think with the way Nottingham Forest played in the last match away from home, 1-1 to Burnley, I think they need to pick up a victory. Their first match under this coach, that's against for Postecoglou, was a loss, 3-0 loss to Arsenal, if you remember very well. And it was not really a good one in the last game, the draw. Now they need to pick up results. They need to start doing it as quick as possible. For Sunderland against Nottingham Forest in the league, Sunderland have gotten an upper hand. Out of their last 5 games, Sunderland has won 3, draw 1 and lost 1 to Nottingham Forest. So I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. Nottingham Forest 1, Sunderland 1. Now, the next game, Tottenham Hotspur against Wolves. Guess what? Wolves have had an upper hand against Tottenham Hotspur in the last couple of games. In fact, in their last 5 games, Wolves have won 4 and draw 1. They've not lost against Spurs. That is a very shocking one. And I think this game is going to be a tough one because Wolves won their last game. They've not started the season very well, but they won their last game in the Carabao Cup. 2 goals to, I think, Aroko Dari, their new signing, scored. I think it's going to be a tough one. It's really, really going to be a tough one. I don't see Tottenham Hotspur winning this game. I don't see Tottenham Hotspur winning this game at all. Their home form has been decent, not been that good. They won against Burnley, they lost against Bournemouth at home. Well, for Wolves, they lost 2 of their away games, against Newcastle and against Bournemouth. 1 goal each. So if this match is not a draw, I don't see Wolves losing. I think it's going to be a 2-1 victory for Wolves. Tottenham Hotspur 1, Wolves 2. Now to the next match, Aston Villa against Fulham. Fulham is like I usually describe them. They are like a toxic boyfriend or people are in a toxic relationship. One, they do well, the next time they don't do well. So if you probably say Fulham will win, the next match they might disappoint you. For Aston Villa, they've not started the season very well. In fact, they got their first win in 6 in their last game in the Europa League. And I think they would want to ride on that win. For Fulham, and they are actually not Aston Villa will be without Martinez, their goalkeeper. For Fulham, they lost 2-0 against Chelsea and they drew 1-1 against Brighton away from home. While for Aston Villa, their home form, they lost 3-0 against Crystal Palace and they drew their last match. I think they are going to pick up their first win in this game. If this game is not going to be in fact, this game I have 2 scores. 3-1 victory for Aston Villa or 1-0 victory for Aston Villa against Fulham. So my mind is really going for a 1-0 Aston Villa win against Fulham. Now the next game is Newcastle against Arsenal. Newcastle have not started the season very well. Yes, they won their last match at home against Wolves 1-0. They lost against Liverpool, while their away form has not been good either. In the Champions League they lost also, and their last 5 games they've won 2, draw 2, and lost 1. While for Arsenal, they've started the season very well. They've lost only 1 game, which is against the defending champion. Against Manchester City last week, they did very, very well to get a point. For Newcastle, they need to start winning games. They drew their last match against Bournemouth in a goalless draw away from home. I think Arsenal has all it takes. I think this season is a different season for Arsenal. They have enough bench. They have enough squad depth and a very tight defense against teams this season, unlike how last season was. So I think Arsenal have everything or what it takes to defeat Newcastle. Newcastle needs to start scoring goals and needs to start doing it as quick as possible. So I think this match is going to be a 2-0 victory for Arsenal against Newcastle. It will be tough. It will be very, very tough. But either 1-0 or 2-0 against Newcastle. So I see Arsenal winning this game. Newcastle 0, Arsenal 2. Now for Everton against West Ham, which is a Monday night football. Everton has been doing very well. West Ham and Wolves have not started this season very well. In fact, West Ham has been very, very poor. They've lost their 2 games at home, for West Ham. They lost against Crystal Palace and Chelsea. Now they are going away to face Everton. Everton drew their first game at home against Aston Villa and they won their second game against Brighton. Now they need to pick up victory. I think Everton has more than what it takes to defeat West Ham. So I think Everton is going to win. In their last games against this two sides, their last 5 games, West Ham has won 2, Everton has won 1, and they've drawn 2. I see Everton picking up victory here. I see a 2-0 victory for Everton. Please share your thoughts in the comments. If you're new to this channel, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell, and always share your thoughts in the comment. And note, betting is always not 100% accurate. It's just logic on these games. But share your thoughts in the comment section. If you're new to this channel, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell until I come your way again next time. I remain your boy Mike Way. Stay cool. Cheers.